Students, welcome to the subject Software Engineering. At present, we are in chapter System Models. In this chapter, we have studied context models, behavioral models, data models, and at present, we are studying object models. In these object models, we have finished inheritance models. Okay, and today we will take up the remaining two models, that is object aggregation and object behavioral modeling. Topic is object aggregation. Point number 1. We have learned in inheritance models that subclasses acquire attributes and services through an inheritance relationship with other super class, that is also a parent class. Students, you have studied in object oriented concept or object oriented programming, that is the children class inherit properties from the parent class, or otherwise it is called as the subclasses inherent properties from the super class. So the same concept is true here. Point number 2. Some objects, along with the acquiring attributes and services through an inheritance relationship with other objects, they are groupings of other objects. Okay, students, we are going beyond the concept of inheritance. Along with inheriting the characteristics and the properties of parent class, some objects are found to be grouping of other objects. Point number 3. That is, an object is an aggregate of set of other objects. Students, you know, if you consider one study material, study material may consist of textbooks, notebooks, journals, reference books, material from internet, all these together can be called as study material. So this is called as aggregation, that it becomes a package. Such a model we are studying today. The classes representing these objects may be modeled using an object aggregation model. For example, let us consider a library has a study pack for a university course. Students, we have studied that if you want to study such classes which form to be group of other subclasses, then you have to have a new model called as object aggregation model. Now we will consider a library study pack for the university course. Point number 3. This study pack includes lecture notes, exercises, sample solutions, copies of transparencies, that is OHP slides, used in lectures and video tapes. So students, you are aware that study pack will consist of the notes given by the lecturer, the exercises, that is the assignments or problems he gives you to solve at home. Then there will be sample solutions, OHP slides, and video tapes. Point number 4. Object aggregation model figure is given in the next slide. So we will see what is this figure. The figure represents, in all, there are 7 rectangles. So the very top rectangle is the parent, that it consists of study pack. And below that you have got assignments, OHP slides, lecture notes and video tapes. Assignments consist of exercises and solution. So you find the study pack is an aggregation of exercises, solutions, OHP slides, lecture notes and video tapes. The UML notation for aggregation. The UML notation for aggregation is a diamond on the source of a link. Point number 2. The object aggregation figure given can be read as a study pack is composed of one or more assignments, OHP slides, lecture notes, and video tapes. Okay. So the aggregation, okay, UML notation is a diamond link on the source. You can find it in the figure. Next topic we'll consider is object behavior modeling. In the UML, you model behaviors using the scenarios that are represented as UML use cases. Point number 3. One way to model behavior is to use UML sequence diagrams that show the sequence of actions involved in the use case. Students, okay, the UML notation here you can use is scenarios, and these scenarios can be represented as use cases. Okay, and we will take help of sequence diagram here, which will show how the actions move in a sequence in a use cases. Along with the sequence diagram, the UML also includes collaboration diagrams that show the sequence of messages exchanged by the objects. Okay, so there are a number of objects, and each object will be exchanging a message that we will see in the slide next. Okay, earlier we have studied all this in sequence, okay, diagrams, where we have considered use cases in chapter 7. That is in the requirement analysis. Point number 2. These are similar to sequence diagrams. Students, okay, you will be studying a collaboration diagram where there will be sequence of messages, okay, that we will see in the next slide. Point number 3. In the next slide, you shall see how a sequence diagram can be used for behavioral modeling. Okay. So here we are going to take help of sequence diagram to understand behavior modeling. Point number 4. The diagram is related to library system, that is libsys. Okay, a software for library which you have considered earlier, and it shows issue of electronic items from library. Students, you know, library has got books, okay, journals. Along with that, it has got electronic items, just like cassettes and tapes. Now in this diagram you can see issue of electronic items. On the very top you got library user, then you got e-catalog called as catalog, then on the very top row you got library item, the library net server, and below that you can see how the exchanges take place. Okay. So first there is a timeline from top to bottom. The library user looks up into the catalog is displayed, then library user, okay, wants issue of books, and then library item gives a license, the user accepts the license, and once the license is accepted, the material is sent for compressing, and then it is delivered. So this is the sequence diagram. Issue of electronic item. Point number 1. In a sequence diagram seen in the previous slide, objects and actors are aligning along with the top of the diagram. So in this diagram, on the very top, that is the first row, we can find library user, e-catalog, library item, and library nets server. The labeled arrow indicate operations. Okay, the sequence of operation is from top to bottom. So students, in the figure, arrow mark indicates operations, and the timing is from top to bottom. First is the lookup and last is the delivery. In this scenario, the library user accesses the catalog to see whether the item is available electronically. Okay, so the library user checks whether in the catalog whether such an item is available electronically. Point number 4. If the item is available, the user requests the electronic issue of the form. So if that item is available, then user goes in for request for issue. of the electronic item. Point number 1. For copyright reasons, the item must be licensed. So there is transaction between the item and the user where license is agreed. Students, you know today, okay, all these are intelligent materials and copyright, okay, issue is there. So if there is copyright, then license should be issued. And if that license is okay, then the electronic form of item is issued. Point number 2. The item to be issued is sent to the network server object for compression before being sent to the library user. Students, when you want to send an item into a network, it should be compressed. File compression should take place so that it is in small size. So this is what happens in the compress case. Okay. So today we have studied the remaining two types of object models, that is object aggregation and object behavioral modeling. So with this we conclude object models, and in the next period we will consider next topic from the chapter system models. If you got anything, you can just call me. Please write this in your notebook. Thank you.